is talking about.
What's up, family? Frank Lucas, one of America's most infamous drug kingpins, is dead. Frank, famously played by Denzel Washington in the 2007 movie American Gangster, died in New Jersey according to his brother. We're told that Frank was being transported to the hospital for some unknown health issue, and he died on the way. Frank rose to power in the 1960s and 70s, and he boasted of cutting out the middleman by buying his product directly from Southeast Asia. He then would smuggle the drugs to America in coffins of dead U.S. servicemen. Yeah, this dude, Frank Lucas, was indeed bigger than life at the time that he was active in the drug trade. He finally got popped in 1975. He ended up with 70 years, but in the very end, he only did 5 years of the 70-year sentence because, drum roll please, you read it, gave everybody up. Well, let him tell it, he only gave up dirty cops. But people in the streets are saying things different. Anyway, after he got out, and y'all should view this as a cautionary tale. After he got out, he got popped again for drugs. Now, here's somebody that's just beat a 70-year sentence. He got out, went right back, they got him again for another 7 years. And then, as far as we know, he laid it down. He died at 88 years old. He had 7 children that he left behind. Now, I've heard people call Frank Lucas a legend. And I've heard people argue, say he's not a legend. He destroyed the communities. He was a crack dealer. I mean, nothing more, nothing less. I gotta disagree about the legendary part. He is a legend. A hero? No way. Heroes save the lives of the innocent. They don't take them away. Now, I understand why people would be kind of excited about Frank Lucas. He was a big deal. America is fascinated, absolutely, with the gangster image. We can say what we want to say, but we're fascinated with gangsterism. Look at Donald Trump, straight up gangster. Look at all these movies that come out throughout the years. Some of the biggest blockbuster movies have been gangster flicks. Hell, one of our biggest songs, Ghetto Boys, Damn It Feels Good to Be a Gangster. That was one of our biggest songs. So America has a fascination with gangsterism. America loves its gangsters. But we got to keep it a buck, man. We have to be honest about this. We have to be honest about the damage that Frank Lucas did while he was on this earth. Imagine how many mothers that he was responsible for getting strung out on crack. How many fathers were strung out on crack who dealt crack for him, was murdered, who got a bunch of years, was taken away from their families, who got maimed, who had their life choices restricted. How many crack babies in America were the result of Frank Lucas's actions, his directions? And what about the guys that aspired to be like him? The damage that they caused. Had it not been for a Frank Lucas, they may have never chosen that lifestyle. We got to be honest about that. We cannot fight this damn war one-sided, man. We got to fight it on all cylinders, all sides. Yes, American government played a huge part in the drug trade in America. They played a huge part in destroying black neighborhoods specifically. Yes, they did. They brought the crack, the dope here, as they always have done. These so-called border patrol people, crooks, they allow the stuff in. The stuff can't get here unless they don't allow it in. Let's get that straight. Ain't nothing coming in unless they allow it to come in, just like at the airport. Ain't nothing coming through that airport that they don't want to come through that airport, that somebody isn't allowing to come through that airport. That's the way it is. So this guy, Frank Lucas, is responsible for destroying many lives. I spoke to Lil Troy from Houston, had the big head, want to be a baller. And I interviewed him on my podcast. And he volunteered to say that, you know what, man, I didn't even know the damage that I was doing. And he apologized to the people that he hurt or may have hurt. Now, we know apology don't stop the pain. Sorry don't stop the pain. But just him acknowledging that made me respect him more. I had to respect that because a lot of people say, man, I'm getting this money. I ain't making him do it. Yes, again, we know American government had a major hand in it. But there's an old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it. Ultimately, it's that horse's decision whether he wants to wet his beak, so to speak. It's the horse's decision to drink the water. So yes, they brought us the drugs, but we made a conscious decision to sell the drugs. Maybe we wasn't conscious about the effects that it would have, the long-term effects. We just wasn't thinking on that level. We wasn't thinking, just like a lot of cats today, a lot of the youngsters, they are doing destructive things, and they're not really thinking long-term about the effects that their actions today are going to have on them. They're not thinking that way. Frank Lucas is not solely responsible for the immeasurable damage caused to the black community due to the drug trade. However, he did play a major role, and he got to own that. That damage could take 200-300 years to undo. It may never be undone. I'll leave y'all with this. And I just don't know any other way to put it. Because Frank Lucas lived. Many people died. No more talk.
What them haters talking about?